Radio 8.
Here comes!
Hey, run that thing up.
Radio 8. Great.
Welcome back to another episode of the Grade A Wrestling Podcast. It's your boy Musa. I'm here with my guy Ty. How you doing, Ty?
Doing good.
Had to throw a little intro spice to it real quick. Man, it's been a minute. It's been a week or so since we did the last episode. A lot has happened for the road to Wrestlemania. So we're going to cover some of the weekly shows, some of the build-ups we have for the card. We have some updated matches that's been announced. And we got AEW Dynasty. And we have the match card as well for that. And we're going to do some more WrestleMania trivia. So if you're watching, make sure you like to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the WrestleMania card thus far and the predictions for AEW's Dynasty. So, Ty, we're going to get right into it. We're going to start with the trivia first. WrestleMania trivia, 20 questions, and we have 3 minutes and 16 seconds to answer. For those who don't know, Google Mr. Austin 316. That's the perfect way to segue into the show. Let's start. First question. Who teamed with Hulk Hogan in the main event on WrestleMania 1? I think this is a very easy one.
Yeah, that's Mr. T.
Okay, we got to click next to. All right. Which wrestler won the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania 4?
Damn, we just did this last show.
Wasn't it? Was that the Mega Powers? Was that Randy? I think it was Randy.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to double check. Which city was not one of the locations of WrestleMania 2? That's right. WrestleMania had 3 different locations. This is Toronto.
Yeah.
That was a horrible idea by Vince, by the way. What was the first ladder match? Oh, we know that. Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. Who the Undertaker defeat to start his WrestleMania streak? Snuka. Wasn't it Snuka first? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you get this one. I feel like I'm taking all the joy. Who was the winner of the first Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania? Oh, I watched this live. I actually remember this.
RVD.
You sure?
The first one has to be RVD.
It's Edge.
Nah, Edge won.
WrestleMania 21 goes Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
That's what started off.
God, he won it in the ladder.
That what started off the feud. I remember my mother ordered that one for me in clips. I used to watch it all the time. Which wrestler has the record for the most WrestleMania main event matches? That will be Roman Reigns now. If it's okay.
Yeah, it gotta be. I'm running out of time.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunately, because the early he earned it, but the early stages was a little questionable.
Roller coaster, what was that? 33?
Yes. Orlando.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite setups. Who was the referee for Austin's submission match with Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13? Ken Shamrock.
Yep.
Well, we're under a minute. We gotta speed through. I forgot about the time. Who was the first women's match to main event? This one.
Yep. Triple threat.
Which city hosted the first 2-night WrestleMania? Was that Tampa, Florida? Yep. It was Orlando.
Oh.
That's right, because of the COVID.
Okay. Yeah, 33. Damn.
Which tagline was given Triple H? Oh, end of an era. Which wrestler made an entrance in a tank at WrestleMania 31? Which of these cities hosted WrestleMania back-to-back years? Los Angeles? It was New Jersey.
Damn. It sounded like a Cali thing, though.
It does. Who was the first Under Giant Memorial winner?
Cesaro.
Who made save Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 8? Randy Savage. Ultimate. It was Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, I was trying to rush through. I was over here just going lackadaisical and then not thinking like, yo, we're being timed for this. All right. 13 out of 20. Not bad. Probably did better if I wasn't being so lazy with the questions. Why not? Let's do a Royal Rumble one. Since it's there, why not try it? Okay, all the ads popping up.
All these ads.
All right, let's start. Who was the first ever winner of the Royal Rumble match? That would
Jim
be
Duggan.
Yeah, Jim Duncan.
We know that.
Who was the first woman to compete? China.
Yep, we know that.
First person to win a 3, Steve Austin.
Austin, yeah.
The only one that's done it. A woman's Oscar. They ruined that build-up afterwards anyway. What was the first year where the 30-man Rumble match had held WWE title on the line? 2000? No? So then...
Yeah, first year, 90...
Oh, it had... Oh, the first year, yeah. It was 92. 92.
Yeah.
With a tear in my eye. I remember that promo after by Ric Flair. Who were the first?
Brett and Lex.
Yeah, that we had that one on the trivia last time. Oh, British Bulldog.
Yep, British.
They carried that Rumble. First person competed. Oh, Roman. I remember that. Who raised Roman's hand? The Rock.
Terrible Royal Rumble.
Philadelphia too. What was the first city to host WrestleMania Royal Rumble in a stadium? Stadium. I want to say San Antonio.
Yeah, it gotta be. I'm like, it can't be New York.
Maven.
Yeah.
Who can forget that? Who holds the record for the longest time spent in a 30-man?
Yeah, Gunther.
Gunther now? Yeah.
Yeah, he passed. He passed somebody.
Yeah. Who was the first person to win the Royal Rumble in the 30 position? Was it Austin? It was Taker.
You know, it's crazy. I felt like
that Rumble was classic too.
It was, but I didn't know he was the first one to do it at 30.
I don't remember him coming in at 30.
Yeah, because Sean was carrying that match.
This is my favorite Royal Rumble, 2001. Who won the first 40-man? Was that Del Rio?
Yep.
Who holds the record for the shortest time? Morella.
Yeah, nobody can beat Santino.
First one back-to-back Rumbles. Sean. Wait, Hogan? I should have known it was Hogan. Actually, now that I think about it.
Shit. I didn't know that either.
Who was the first woman to win the Royal Rumble from the number 1 spot? Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Which wrestler eliminated 30 people in the 20? Brock?
Brock.
Okay. Who's working for the runner-up for the most runner-ups? Roman. Who got that? Just at the bell. 17 out of 20. Not bad for a warm-up. All right, let's get right into it. So we had a lot of stuff to talk about since our last episode. Given that we have some updated match cards for WrestleMania 41. Obviously, for the most recent one, Friday night was announced not one, but 2 WrestleMania matches where we have Naomi going up against Jade Cargill at Mania. I think it's going to be a Mania Sunday match, potentially, depending on how they want to flow out the card. They finally got a women's match on the WrestleMania that's non-title. Congrats to the ladies. I'm hoping this was the initial plan because I feel like this was kind of this or the United States title match was a backup, considering that Kevin and Orton will not be happening at Mania due to the neck injury that Kevin sustained. So, what's your thoughts on Naomi and Jade getting this big match at Mania?
Not pretty much exactly what you said. To me, it felt like this only got put on the card because of that KO and Randy match got called off, in my opinion. Because nothing we have seen, Friday showed us that, like, oh, this is, every feud has that turning point where it's like, all right, we're announcing the match. Nothing gave it away that, okay, they're going to announce the match this Friday. Nothing gave it away. It's like as soon as KO came out and they were having the match, seems like plans just changed and they just put up the graphic to fill time. And I mean, I feel like we all thought they were going to be on the card to begin with. But then they kind of like slowed down the feud a little bit. I feel like both of them are feuding more on Twitter than on the show.
That's the norm nowadays, man. Robbery. Going on Twitter and just trying to extend the robbery with different jabs here and there. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe because we come from a different era.
I mean, I'm cool with it. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like the highlight was when Jade first came back, that first 2 weeks, they were really selling it. Then it just seems like they got lackluster a bit. And they're kind of doing that with a lot of these like side feuds that are not the women's titles, world titles, I should say. Because they even kind of paused on the Bayley Lyra feud for a little. Now, I don't even think that's going to happen at Mania.
I don't think so either because
they're in the
Friday.
Yep, they're in the tag team gauntlet. So, yeah, I'm low key disappointed in a lot of builds this year, especially going into the year. WWE was on fire. Then I think it did cool down a bit. But as long as the matches at Mania deliver, nobody's gonna complain. But I do feel like a lot of feuds have been very lackluster to this point.
I agree. I think a lot of that has to do with TKO in a sense. And what I mean by that is typically at this point of the year, we would have had WrestleMania already, or it would have been this weekend.
Yeah.
And now it's being pushed back to an end of April, which is another 2 weeks. WWE has to try to manage and write storylines that can kind of stretch out for the end of April, where around this time they'll be kind of closing the chapter on some of the final stories of the wrestling calendar and moving forward to the summer. And get them for the next pay-per-view. So now things change, and I think it has to do a lot with TKO. As far as Jade and Naomi goes, I actually think they probably was planned for Mania. If I had to choose between that match and the United States title match, I think they probably would have had Jade and Naomi over Jacob Fatu, which is announced to face LA Knight at Mania for the US title. And simply because of the storyline. I love it. I'll hopefully the match exceeds expectations. I know Jade's been putting a lot of work at the PC with her repertoire and her ring skills, but I really, really hope it's a good match, and I really hope Jade actually loses. Because I think in order for this to actually stick, the heel has to win at some point. Like, there's too many heel changes. In their first match, the heels are losing, and they're not credible after that. Naomi with the proceed with caution gimmick and all of this is money. And I think in order for it to really stick and land, she has to beat Jade at Mania. Whether it's clean or dirty, doesn't matter, but she has to get the pinfall to at least to extend this. Because another dynamic which we talked about with this feud can be by adding Bianca to it and how she falls in line with this. Once she's done with doing with her program, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. So yeah, that's how I feel about those two. What's your thoughts on Jacob Fatu getting a Mania debut match against LA Knight, which we all know LA Knight's going to lose more than likely.
Well, I don't know about that one. Well, to me, what I would do, I would just have Jacob beat him in like 5 minutes. Honestly, WrestleMania. Pretty much, you have everyone's eyes on you. This is pretty much like the Super Bowl, you know. So you want to sell your future, you know. And I think Jacob's first match at Mania, he needs to take that belt off. And he needs to do it in like a convincing way to where, like, you know, you haven't seen in a while where this indestructible guy just goes in, beats the champion. And I'm talking beat, not no back and forth. You know, I don't want to see that.
Is this LA's first Mania match too?
Nah.
He was on it last year, right?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't in it on 39. So
he wasn't in 39.
Which was a travesty in and of itself. But
like it sucks that it's LA Knight being the champion heading into this Mania. Yeah. Because honestly, like, if you had Nakamura still in this position, brother, have Fatu win in 30 seconds or something. But I feel like they might have Solo pretty much be the reason why Fatu doesn't win. And I don't want to see that. But I think that's what they're booking towards, because we all thought they were booking towards Fatu Solo at Mania. But apparently not. So do you stretch it out for months? Or is this going to actually be the turning point where Fatu in the bloodline pretty much leaves Solo by himself?
So that's actually where I was going to play devil's advocate. And Clips, what's up, man? Thanks for joining up. I was gonna say, if little devil's advocate could be potentially Solo turning on Jacob, and LA retains that way, and then that starts off the feud for the summer with Team Solo and Jacob. And who knows? You might even have Tamatonga and Tungaloa who can return at some point in the summer, because he's rumored to return soon. Turn on Jacob, and that starts a whole Solo Fatu versus the Tongans scenario also. So there's a lot of dynamics they can add to this layer. I'm curious to see what they're gonna go and what route they choose, but I mean, overall, I'm still betting on Jacob winning the match. I'm a better man. Real quick, we're just going over some of the matches that was announced on SmackDown between Jade and Naomi for Mania 41, as well as Jacob and LA Knight. We're actually going to dive into real quick is Kevin Owens. He's out indefinitely. We don't know when he will come back with a neck injury. He said he suffered in January, and people are being nasty on social media, already trying to say Cody was the blame for this, which is not the case at all. Yes, unfortunately, the Randy Orton Kevin Owens match is not going to happen. We're wishing Kevin a speedy recovery. However, what does this mean for Randy? Are they going to try to put Randy into something? Like, what does Randy do in all of this? Because he's the one that's losing out, but obviously, besides Kevin and the fans for the match.
I'm glad you brought up you have fans blaming Cody because I think they can use all this for Randy's heel turn. Have Randy Orton cost Cody Rhodes his match against John Cena. Then we're like,
all right.
Why, like, Randy, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And Randy's talking about how Cody Rhodes was so obsessed with Kevin Owens, and they keep playing. Remember their match at Mania, at the Rumble, when he was just going nonstop with the crossroads and all those big spots on Homeboy's neck. So you can have him be like, he's the reason. He has a big ego. He couldn't let his ego pretty much like he couldn't take the easy way out. He had to do so much, and it cost Randy Orton a match at WrestleMania. You can tie it in so well. I think that's the best thing to do. I think giving him just a random match to put him on the card, it's not going to create any substance. We're about like 12, 14 days away. Doesn't make sense. I wouldn't put him on the card, but I would have him turn on Cody. They was already building it before he left. Have it some payoff. Let's keep Cody away from the world title scene after he loses from Cena by feuding with Randy. I think that's the best thing they can do.
So real quick, my question to follow up on that, and then the clips I'll let you chime in. If they would go this route, who was the first opponent you want Cena to face post Mania? Now that he's the champion.
Well, I saw on Twitter earlier about how AJ Styles is always this post WrestleMania guy for the fresh newly won world champions. So I would revisit that. So you have Cena as champion. You know pretty much he's going to drop the belt before the end of the year. He's done at the end of the year. So let's get all these final matches with these big name guys that he can. And I would do that first. Because I think who should take the title off of him, I don't know who specifically. But it shouldn't be like a Randy Orton. It shouldn't be an AJ Styles, someone already established, in my opinion. I think it should be somebody.
Fernando
Punk,
would come. Shout out to you, Fernando. And if this the Nando I think it is, let me know if you're trying to get on. I'll send the link to you. We could definitely want to hear your opinion on this. If this is who I think it is. But I appreciate the comment nonetheless. AJ Styles, CM Punk.
I wouldn't do CM Punk first because CM Punk has to win.
CM Punk is shocked because, and we're going to get to that too, because it seems like my prediction might come to light regarding that triple threat match with Roman, Punk, and Rollins. But I don't think Punk's going to be available for this post-Mania this soon because of the program he's going to be in for the summer with Roman. But Fernando with another comment, Braun Breaker takes the title from Cena at SummerSlam. So that was actually where I was going to in regards of me thinking who will be the next opponent, considering they rumored to do a draft after WrestleMania. So depending on where people get moved, that could potentially be the case. I will Cena being a heel, who will be a good face for him? Why not to start off the first one with Damian Priest? Priest is not going to win because you're going to have Drew intervene. Assuming Damian wins at Mania, to kind of pour along, that'll be like a filler match. But it also depends on Cena's schedule post Mania, so that can change nonetheless. Moving right along, Clips, do you have any input on any of these before we move on to the next?
Nah.
All right. So so far, the matches that's been announced for the Mania 41, we got Cody Rhodes and Cena, which we just talked about. Io Sky, Bianca Belair, which is on the website only. So wait, as it now, they only have the singles match announced. They don't have it as a triple threat anymore. Rhea's not on the WWE website on the match card, which we know will change. We have Gunther and Jey Uso, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte, AJ and Logan Paul, LA Knight Fatu, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. And I could have sworn they had already announced Drew versus Damian Priest for Mania. I don't see it. I don't see it on the website on the card list, but I could be wrong, but I could have sworn they already had announced that match. But nonetheless, while we're still on SmackDown, let's talk about Charlotte and Tiffy. Fernando with another comment. Rhea will be there. We'll be in there, of course. We're gonna get to the Raw side of things in just a moment because I think they're doing a lot of filler over there. But nonetheless, the promo, Tiffy and Charlotte. Tiffy got her get back. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the promo overall. Did Tiffy go 1-for-1 or is Charlotte still 0 for 3?
Well, well, two things could be true at the same time. So I think honestly, this is gonna blow up in everyone's face because they should have never booked this being Charlotte's return. They should have never had these two face each other, and they're gonna learn from their mistake, but it will cost them because I do think that their Wrestlemania match is not going to be good at all. Because I think Charlotte, the thing with Charlotte is you got to think about it. She's a Flair. So imagine this was Ric Flair and some I wouldn't say a nobody, but some new level person who's only been wrestling a couple years who has the belt, goes in business for themselves. Ric Flair is not selling during that match. Or he's going to sell ridiculously. And I think that's what's going to happen. Charlotte is, depending who's coming out on top, you're going to see the other one act like they don't care. That's what I think. So if Charlotte is going over, I swear you're going to see Tiffy selling like HBK versus Hulk Hogan. I'm telling you.
I will say this: Vince would have loved it initially, but then I believe Vince being the Vince that he is, I think he has Tiffy drop the belt at Mania.
Of course, he's the one that had Rhea drop that NXT belt at Mania.
So, I'm just, and because we have Fernando with some comments I'm going to put up. This promo was trash. They kept talking over each other. They sounded like high school mean girls. Then he followed up with Tiffy has been exposed by Charlotte, unfortunately. Now that I agree with. Charlotte is not good on the mic. So it's the blind leading the blind, but she was cooking Tiffy up until Friday. I feel like Tiffy finally got her get back, despite them going off script. It was good TV. Got everyone talking about the match. And I actually disagree with you, Ty. I believe this match is going to be a lot better than people think it is. I hope so, but I think they're going to put on a good match. Cause I think where Charlotte's psychology in the ring and Tiffy just being athletically gifted, I think it's going to be some good spots here and there. Obviously, there are going to be some receipts in this match. So, Tiffy, get ready because Charlotte is going to get her receipts and it's going to be vice versa. But all in all, I think whoever comes out on top is going to have a little bit more to say backstage once they get behind the gorilla. Clips, any thoughts on the promo and the match and the build-up so far for Tiffy and Charlotte?
Let's just say this feud, bro, just is awkwardly ass cringe, nigga. Like, I'm sorry. I really feel that this shit is so cringeworthy. Like, each promo to me just been feeling like very like not cringe, but just like it doesn't have no fluidity. It don't feel like a fluid ass like story. Like the story just is but and then like okay, we'll go to first promo, bro. Like when they was in the separate room joints, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Where Charlotte's like, is that all you got, Tiffy? Like it's just like a to me it just seems like we got the oldie picking on the new kid, and it's like I don't know, it just doesn't give me no pizzazz. Now this last week, I ain't gonna hold you. Them taking them personal shots to me that don't do shit for the rivalry. It just made it be like, okay, wow, this is this is a wow moment. It doesn't really spotlight the rivalry. Now I don't know if there's any truth to what Charlotte responded with, but
Well, did you see what Lou Wood
yeah.
responded
He said don't
with the Shawn Michaels gif? Don't
yeah,
flatter
he's
yourself.
don't flatter yourself. But then it's just now it's like I don't hate the personal, but like I feel like if you're gonna be personal with the rivalry, like there's certain ways to go about it, bro. And they should have did that from the jump if they were gonna like add some enticement to it.
So
But
to your point, this wasn't planned. That's what made it so crazy and why WWE had to take off, had to cut out some of the 0-3 comments on their website from the video package because they wasn't supposed to go off script. So I hear you. If they were supposed to go off script and go personal, they needed to go all the way. And clearly they weren't. Charlotte was not prepared for that. It's funny. It's not funny, but ironic that I just seen Charlotte do an interview. I don't know what show it was, but gave the talk show host a hug, got emotional about talking about the divorce and all this stuff. And then I see Tiffy talk about the divorce and her going 0 for 3. So Tiffy did the best thing she could have done, and that's get out the ring. Because I think Charlotte was definitely going to just slap the hell out of her in her face. And that would have been good for the promo, I guess. But like I said, Charlotte's going to get that receipt. She lost her control. And I think the match is going to be a lot better because it's going to be personal. And I think depending on certain situation, personal mixed with a little bit of the business does the rivalry in match well. But real quick, Fernando has a comment again. The build for this match has been terrible. Naomi versus Jade's story has been better than Tiffy versus Charlotte. Well, to be fair, you're not wrong. But I think that story was told in of itself because of the dynamic of having that Bianca in it. And let's be fair, that story was very stale for some time until Jade finally came back. So yes, but I agree overall. I think that story has just been better. And then he had another comment saying this will be played better during the Attitude Era, not now.
Nah.
I don't think
the problem with it, and the reason why I think they're gonna have a terrible match is Charlotte's supposed to be the veteran. And she couldn't even handle a Chicago crowd and someone going off script against her. She couldn't handle that as a veteran. That's my problem with it.
Yeah,
she couldn't deliver that promo. She looked absolutely lost. And I'm like, you know what? If Tiffany's going over, I think Charlotte can be a professional and do it right. But I'm telling you, if Charlotte's going over, the problem is Tiffany already feels like she has gained zero momentum in this feud. So that hurts her more than it hurts anybody else.
I honestly think it's a bad match to begin with. And that was gonna be my next question to you, Clips and Ty. Before I ask the question I just think they both are naturally better at being heels. I don't like Tiffy as a face. I never did. But the crowd gets behind her, so that's why they turn to hit face inevitably. And Charlotte's just a natural heel, but she does not and never was good on the mic. She could do everything else but speak on the mic. So I think it was just a bad match in heaven as far as the build-up per se goes. But my question to you, Ty, because you mentioned it in your first initial thoughts. So what would have been your plan if you decided not to go Charlotte Stratton as the match for Mania? Like, would you still have Charlotte win? Would you still have Charlotte win the Rumble, or would you win with a different direction?
Oh no, I told you I would have had, if they had the same final three, I would have gave it to Roxanne. But in my personal favorite, I'd rather Charlotte went the other route, and we get a triple threat of whoever you want, Rhea, Charlotte, Io, or even Bianca, whatever. Just triple threat over there. I think if she went for that title, it would have been way better. Her going straight for Tiffy. I'm telling you, they pretty much had this feud doesn't even have a story. Like
most people call it Battle of the Blondes, which is
it's literally that. Literally that. This is literally like Vince McMahon just looking like, yep, that's my feud. I just want two bonds versus each other in WrestleMania. That's it, bro. Like, there's no real feud to this, but we already knew as soon as Charlotte won, we knew she was going after Tiffy.
I will say this, to add to your point for Raw, if Charlotte goes to Raw and challenges for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, why not just do a fatal four-way like you did at WrestleMania 16? Because I still think you need Io on the Mania. So you have Io, Bianca, Ripley, Charlotte. Those four themselves can carry an opener or main event, which we know they was never going to main event, no matter how great the bill would have been. Considering you have Roman, Punk, and Rollins, and then Cena on his last hurrah against Cody. Yeah. And that's the thing. Time is everything. Because I think... No, never mind. I don't think any of the women matches should be main eventing this year. And I think we can just go right into that before we get to these comments. Fernando says he agrees Tiffany's babyface turn was a mistake. Follow that up with Roxanne would have been a better choice. I would love it. The two younger generation stars going at it for the belt. But let's talk about the other woman on the other side, brand, with Bianca, Rhea, and Io. This has been a mess, to say the least. This would have been forgiven had this been a middle of the year PLE. But for this to be Mania, given the star caliber with these three women, and you have a build-up like this, I don't know. This is not giving what it needs to. And I don't know what direction you go, because I'm tired of seeing them treat Io like she's just the middle child in the whole situation when she's the World Heavyweight Champion. And quite frankly, she owns them both. Rhea has yet to beat Io, and Bianca has never beat Io. So to treat her like she's the middle child and she's the one holding the prize possession, I just don't understand that being the storyline. But I'll let you guys talk about your thoughts on the Bianca, Rhea, and Io build-up for Mania.
I think the build-up is it's decent. I don't like that it's still not a triple threat right now when we clearly know it's a triple threat.
1,000%.
But I honestly didn't like the whole DQ thing with Bianca as the special guest referee. I mean, I felt like they was just doing too much. I would have just, like, I don't know. I would have had all three brawling, and have the match get called off, then have Adam Pearce come out or whoever come out and just be like, yo, it's a triple threat at WrestleMania. The whole Rhea laying them out and walking away. I mean, I get it. But I think what makes what would make this feud better is all going to depend on who goes over at Mania. And I think Io should retain at Mania. But I don't know. I don't know, man. It's so hard. I don't know what Triple H can book or how he would book it, but I would have Io go over because she's like third fiddle in this feud, yet she's the champion. So that speaks for itself.
Clips, any thoughts on Bianca, Rhea, and Io's feud thus far?
I just don't. My main thing is I was kind of cool with Bianca versus Io, bro. Like, do we have to really put her in every fucking event, nigga? Like, do we have to push this lady in every feud, bro? This is the only thing I hate with
can't have Rhea not on the card.
Like, yes, you can. You can take a break, nigga. It's like
she did.
Okay to sit the fuck out, bro. Like, let somebody else have the belt. You had the belt. You lost, nigga. You lost. Give it up.
So I guess we're going to
give it up, nigga.
You're going to have 40 up the card?
No bull, right? I'm being for real. Like, really doing this. We watched that whole Liv and Rhea rivalry for so long. Niggas, everybody's what they hated that rivalry. I kind of love that rivalry. I'm a Liv Morgan fan. I'll
praise it to you because that rivalry was
that was weak.
It was weak. It could have been a lot better, right? But even after, right? Let's say after SummerSlam, when she beat Rhea, right? They did nothing to put anybody else against her except for fucking Io, and then it was right back to Rhea again. And it's like, bro, I'm big on, bro. Please push somebody else, bro. Like, granted, Rhea, cool. Like, have her feud with an up and comer, bro. Like, you don't need to put her in the title spot every time. I don't know, Trey. Don't ask me who, bro. I'm not a good roster person right now, but I'm not. Nah, I don't know the roster. I just don't want to see her in the title. Like, we did not need to see Rhea at Mania, bro. I'm sorry, bro. We did not need to see that. It's not gonna make or break us, bro. And I just feel like you're kind of ruining the opportunity of the one-on-one match by just throwing her in there. And it's like,
it's hard for them to leave off their biggest female star off them biggest people.
And they left Becky Lynch off one. They could.
Which one was Becky off of?
They left her out a good few, bro. They could sit her down.
Which Mania when she was the man? I'm trying to remember. Because she main evented and won. She was on the other one the following year, and then she had the baby. I'm not mad at you.
I'm not saying they left her out of Mania, but like this certain shit they left her out of to build other people with Rhea is just like, bro, we're just gonna throw you in everything, bro.
No, remember during the Liv in Rhea situation, she took time off, and now's the point. That was when I was trying to ask who. But again, that's the problem, and that's I think this is more of a creative problem than a Rhea problem, and the reason being is even for example when Rhea took the time off, who was you having Liv feud with?
They still
Zelina Vega.
But they still, my thing is, even when Rhea took the time off, they still found a way to involve her, nigga. That's just literally like
because they have no one else and they haven't been pushing nobody else on the roster, and that's also the problem I think they have. If they was actually,
I just find it boring to keep seeing the same.
No, I agree with you and Fernando with Rhea getting the Cena push, which Bianca got the same push too before they put her in the tag team. Which Rhea
like it.
Tag team too.
Even Bianca's push was a little bit more like, I don't know, man. But I don't know what y'all be saying.
The point I'm having with the creative is they're not pushing enough stars or writing creatively for some of these stars to kind of give more people something else to sink their teeth in, where Rhea doesn't have to be in the title feud because they got everyone else on SmackDown in tag teams. When you have tag teams that are actual tag teams, and you're not using them. A la Kaden Carter. Like Zelina Vega has been improved a lot over the year, but no one's gonna want to sit there and see a long-term feud with her and Liv. Neither would you want to see with Zelina and Rhea. Lyra Valkyria, let's be honest, she's bland. Good in the ring, but she's bland. She doesn't have a character that people want to invest in. I'm tired of seeing Nia Jackson Rhea, especially if Rhea keeps going over. So then you left with Liv, and Raquel's a glorified tag team superstar now. So it's kind of like they don't have anyone on the Raw brand in particular to kind of feud with Rhea to get her away from the title picture for longer than what they did prior to her being injured.
Bro, go just send her ass back down to NXT and help her, and go make.
Oh no. Leave NXT alone. NXT is doing perfectly fine without her, without all the women on the main roster. But Nando with another comment. Zelina took way too many losses. Who was she going to beat? That's the problem. You're not gonna have her beat Liv during the Revenge tour. She's not beating Rhea. That's the problem. That's the point I was trying to make. It's like SmackDown, at least with SmackDown, they have a lot more names on that brand, but their issues, they put them all in tag teams, a la Jade and Bianca, then Naomi, and then you have Alba Fire, who I think will be fine and perfectly good as a singles competitor. You had her in Unholy Union until that got split. Now she's dressing like she's in Men in Black. So I don't disagree with your total point, Clips. What I'm saying is I think your argument is actually more on the creative side opposed to Rhea, because I think if the creative was a lot better, then you wouldn't have to force Rhea on all these matches all the time.
Nah, I know what I was saying, but I get what you're trying to say.
Ty, anything else?
Nah, I mean I agree with both of y'all, but I mainly agree with your point, Musa. It's more of a creative thing. They haven't built up anybody else, so of course you're gonna keep using the same women. Now, if Becky Lynch was back, maybe they give Rhea a backseat.
More than likely. But it was rumored that her and Lyra were supposed to feud for the mid card. Shayna Baszler would have been a good challenger, Fernando said. But that's the other thing.
When's the last time they built up Shayna Baszler?
And Baszler would have been, and that's the point I was trying to make. It's like a lot of these stars, like the Oscars, who's been off of TV for a while. Shayna Baszler, who was dumb. If they booked them properly, this is more of a Vince situation with Oscar and Shayna. They wouldn't be in this situation. Like no one's thinking, looking at Shayna Baszler as a credible challenger in the singles competition no more. Now, can they try to rebuild her? Yes, but they haven't done it yet, and I don't think they will. They still are in the pure feuding collective with Zoe Starks. Zoe Starks could be a great mid card challenger. Like, and then my fear is we got all this talent and not enough creative minds in time to put everyone on the main roster. Because, like, I'm sorry, once you get the Jada Parkers, the Jordan Graces, Julia's, Valkyries on the main roster, you got to book these people properly. And to Clips' point, now, if you have those said superstars I just mentioned on the main roster and you're still pushing this Rhea, then I got no pushback. Then it's like, okay, y'all clearly just favoring her, but again, they're not utilizing all these women. Like you have mid card titles for no reason. You literally got mid card titles because TKO listened to the social media, because you wasn't doing nothing with the tag team titles, which should have stayed in NXT. But then you add mid card titles and you don't even do nothing with that. Like, oh, okay. It's sad, but moving on. Fernando with another comment. Jordan Grace is going to be the future face of the women's division. I think it might be Valkyrie, if I'm being honest, or Stratton. Hell, even Roxanne. I don't know if they're gonna push Jordan Grace all the way. I would love it, but I don't know if they will. Ivy Niles, what Jordan Grace is, Ivy Niles what they see in Jordan Grace, who she's supposed to be Jordan Grace, with the muscles and all that stuff, but she's just not that. So, all right, moving on to another match on Raw. We talked about the women's triple threat match. Now it's time to get into the nitty gritty, and I'm gonna start with you, Clips, because this is your boy. Gunther had his Ivan Drago moment when he beat Jimmy up and had Jay watch tied up on the ring ropes. Finally, we got a spark, hopefully, a spark for this feud because it's been pretty dry up until last week and when Jimmy slapped Gunther. But I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on the build-up thus far, at least particularly last previous show for Raw with Gunther, Jimmy, and Jay, and how that's going to go.
I thought it was good. But I'm telling you, I feel like the story meant way more if they were main eventing. And I know everyone's gonna be like, well, you can't have Punk and the triple threat open. They have to main event, bigger names, yeah, yada yada yada. The problem was the dude's name is main event Jay Uso.
And he's not main eventing shit.
He won the Royal Rumble. You're pretty much telling a David versus Goliath story. I feel like it means more if they were main event. However, based off what we saw Monday, there's not that much time left before Mania, but if they kept doing stuff like that, I would have been perfectly fine because I don't care where you're placing it. You're selling the story. But it took them a while to really sell the story. Then they said they're not main eventing. So I'm really 50-50 on if Jay even wins. But I don't know. It's honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. I like this build up better than Cody Cena. I'll put that out there. Because this seems more, fresh. This doesn't seem like they're reading off a script. Jay's just going out there doing his thing, and Gunther is proving why he is the world champ. So
Gunther out here whipping ass.
Exactly.
Clips, thoughts on the build up this far?
I mean, this was probably the best thing for that rivalry was him beating the shit out of Jimmy. Whipping ass, boy. We put BTA, bro. I love Gunther, boy. Should his name kept his name Walter. This was the best build up for the rivalry for me personally. Like, this is that BTA handcuffing Jay. That's what the rivalry need. Now we're gonna see Jay have to really understand what he's going up against. And this is I felt like at first it was getting a little stale, but now that we're starting to see Gunther's they call it ruthless aggression. I kind of like it. I like it. I personally liked him whipping his ass. It was definitely fun. Now I just want to see how they're gonna make Jay respond. Or I wouldn't mind if they keep letting Gunther just, like he said, it's gonna be weeks and weeks of hell. I want to see Gunther continue this all the way until Mania, and then, Jay just, turns tact again, and there we go from there. But I mean, I think I like I like how they made Gunther in this promo, just showing his ruthless side. Definitely now showing that, Gunther is to me personally one of the top faces, top superstars. I said faces. Right now in the locker room in general, like this shows his versatility. So yeah, I like it. I'll take it. I just want to see what they're gonna do next. I want them to build on him whipping Jimmy ass. I want him to, keep going.
I will say it's 2 weeks out till Mania. Ty, you bring up a good point. Whether you think this has been a better build up than Cena and Cody, I don't know if I like any real build ups for any of these.
Nah, agreed. Agreed.
So if I had to,
However,
I
this
was
feels way like this feels way like
so
regular than the other one.
yeah.
We'll talk about the other one
And
a little, but
the thing is for me, right? I'm trying to be objective and not just look at just the key moment and look at the overall collective build. And if I had to choose between the two, I would slightly go Cena and Cody, only because their biggest moment thus far in their build up to the Mania can oversee the Gunther and Jay's build up. Because I'll be honest, Gunther has looked weak up until this past Monday. And this is supposed to be the smash hitting, ruthless Gunther, and they haven't been looking weak. And finally, they let him be who he naturally is. He's a thumper. He's gonna go in the ring and smash you. And I love that they showed that my pushback to why I probably put it behind Cena and Cody is the best thing that ever happened to this buildup has nothing to do with the man that's supposed to win the belt. It had everything to do with Jimmy. Because if they don't include Jimmy, this is still a stale buildup. You got Jay in there stuttering. He got the yips, like Fernando mentioned. I need the Jay I need is what you're gonna see post his brother getting beat up. And that's I'm gonna get him. I got him. Ooh, that's the Jimmy we need. That ruthless Jay we need. We don't need that yeet every second. No. Go in there, super kick their ass to death, and handle business. Be the right-hand man. Because this main event, Jay, ain't been main eventing a damn thing consistently enough. I need right-hand Jay. And I think we're going to get that come this Monday, tomorrow, leading up to the Mania build, now that Jimmy got put out of commission by Gunther. I love the spot. I love all the blood. I love him putting the blood on his chest. I love everything about it. Which why it further proves my point I made a few weeks ago that I still think Jimmy's better than Jay. And the reason being is because they're similar in the ring. Ain't like they do nothing completely different outside of Jimmy doing his whisper in the wind. And Jimmy's a better promo. Like I said it a few weeks ago, and it proved it because his promos what sparked this feud. And the reason why I had it behind Cena and Cody slightly is because you had two bigger moments in their build-up opposed to Jay and Gunther's. Obviously, the heel turn at Elimination Chamber sparked the build-up. Excuse me. And then you had the promo they cut, which was masterclass. Now, I will say this. To your point, Ty, I think the Jay and Gunther match is going to be better than the Cody-Cena match. And a lot of people's not going to agree with that because I feel like I can almost certainly guarantee it's going to be a lot of antics in Cody's and Cena's match like it was last year's Mania, opposed to Gunther and Jay's match. So because of that, of course, a lot of people are going to probably lean towards Cena and Cody as the better match come Mania. But I think it's going to be Jay and Gunther, assuming they get enough time to tell the story, probably 15, 20 minutes. I think that's more than enough time for them to tell a good match, especially for Gunther. Gunther could go out there and wrestle a broomstick and tell a good story. So, all in all, I think we're in for a good next 2 weeks for this build-up. And it sucks because, again, this is why I said I think they made Gunther look weak up until this past Monday, is because he's going to lose at Mania. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, and I don't want him to, because I think he's one of the top tier wrestlers in the main roster in WWE, period. He's not beating Jay at Mania. They're going to give Jay this moment, and Jay's going to win at Mania. That's the story they've been telling this whole time.
Yeah.
I want to see now. The real situation is going to be what they do with Gunther post Mania, because I think with this shakeup, Gunther could probably stay on Raw and get his belt back. Because honestly, you could argue Damian Priest had a better title run so far than Gunther's, based on how he was booked and how the matches went. But I believe Jay gets the belt at Mania. He has a couple months like how Damian does, and then Gunther gets the belt back, unless they finally put the Rockets behind Braun. Because I don't think they're gonna put Gunther on SmackDown just yet with everything going on with Cena and Cody. Plus, you have Drew, who's supposed to initially be in that title picture and dethrone Cody. So, but that's just my take on that overall outlook of the situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, how long do you even think he holds the belt for? Because it's gonna show his weaknesses. Because the pretty much the game plan for the world champions is to go out there and mostly cut a promo.
I think so.
I think he pretty much it's gonna pretty much be exposed. You have him cutting a promo 3 weeks in a row with the belt. Like, yeah, he can say yeet, get the crowd going crazy, but
so
I don't know.
I think Jay can. So let me clear this up for those watching. I think Jay's really solid when it comes to promo work. I just think, to your point, once they give him the belt, because they're going to give him the belt, he's your biggest merchandise salesman and face in the company outside of Cody Rhodes. I think he gets his Jeff Hardy yes moment, Daniel Bryan moment at Mania in 2 weeks. But to your point, he's going to have to be more of that right hand man guy. Like, he don't have to do the yeet every time, but that's what got him here. So I'm not going to be surprised if that's what he continues to do. And it's up to them to give him some good heels to start off the feud. But that's why I said I think Damian's run was better than Gunther's, you can argue, because they gave him formidable opponents that can actually give him a good run in the ring. Gunther, they haven't really done that up too much throughout his reign. So, but yeah, Jay, I think Jay will be fine with his promos. Because again, I don't think they're gonna push him to the moon with that title like they did with Cody, because they're always gonna look at the WWE Championship as the main title in the company opposed to the heavyweight title. So, but I think he will be able to do just enough to get by to where he'll be fine, to answer your question. But I think he holds the belt probably till, I don't know. Do you think he holds it till SummerSlam? I don't know. I don't think he does.
Hell no.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think
Probably July.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. If he wins at Mania, he probably holds it till June, July. They go to Saudi in the summer.
Wait, no, he might hold it till SummerSlam actually, because you know what they're gonna do with Gunther. Clips, you're gonna love this. This Gunther's gonna be the one to retire Goldberg, man.
Nah.
Oh, it's gonna happen. They was already. Remember at Bad Blood, they was already hinting at it.
Yeah, but come on, bro.
Hey, they couldn't give Gunther Brock because of the situation. Obviously, we won't talk about, but Brock is not going to be the option.
Yeah,
Gunther's the next best thing.
But Gunther retiring Goldberg doesn't.
It does nothing for him.
Yeah, it does nothing for him coming off a loss from Jay.
It's still a quick little 5-minute match.
I think Gunther should go over at Mania, but I wouldn't kill the feud. I would have the feud keep going after that. Then if you see the improvement with Jay and everything, then you have him take the belt off. But
Fernando with another comment. He says Sami Zayn turning on Jay and feud with Jay all summer. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Only if the title's involved.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna give Sammy the belt.
Not all summer. Well, I mean,
I think
actually,
Braun.
that
I
kind of
think
works.
Braun takes it off him if they don't go Gunther.
Because if Jay wins at Mania, you have Sami Zayn turn on him. They can feud till SummerSlam. Then you take the belt off of Jay. So that could work.
It could. Definitely. I believe that they will probably go a different route. I don't, but again, we'll see. Moving right along, I guess we could get right into the Cena and Cody match. What are you guys' thoughts on that build-up thus far? And then we'll end off with Logan and AJ before we get into the AEW predictions.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not liking this feud because I feel like they're not capitalizing on John Cena. I feel like, yep, Cody roasted Cena. Oh my God, you thought Charlotte ended Tiffy? Cody ended Cena. This, I don't understand. They had the biggest heel turn, which they claimed it was. And I just feel like the first problem was the first promo Cena cut. The whole I'm turning against pretty much everyone.
I would have been mad if he just walked in there, looked around, mic drop, and didn't say anything. I would have.
Exactly. The fact that he had to go too in depth to be like, oh, I'm blaming the fans. I'm blaming blah. Like, come on. The majority of fans they was already saying Cena sucks. Now you're saying you hate the Cena sucks and you hate the Cena chants. I thought that made zero sense. Then just pretty much every face-to-face we got between them, Cody has came out looking way better. And it's a problem. Because how is this? How are you capitalizing on this biggest heel turn? The most shocking. Remember, after a couple hours that happened, people were saying, "Oh, this is the greatest heel turn of all time."
We had an episode about that. We did not agree with that at all. We respected where we ranked it at, but we did not think it was the best heel turn.
And the fact that Cena's not even on the next two Raws.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because that's where I agree with your overall point, is because I think a lot of it has to do with the booking his schedule, which is why I was iffy about him even committing to this storyline because of his scheduling. But I think the buildup is going to be like this. The match, I'm iffy about the match because you seen that crossroads he took. That looked so sloppy and slow. I don't know. This match leaves a lot for me to be desired. So I agree with you on the buildup itself overall. But Fernando with another comment. Cena should change his entire appearance like Hogan did when he turned heel. Hey, I sent this to Ty and Clips in the group chat. Someone on Twitter did a remake of Cena's Thugonomics video package, but had the G-Unit background beat. Fire. That would have been dope to see, but I'm not mad at him not changing his appearance for how he presented it in the promo. But
well, if he was gonna be on the show for what, 3 weeks in total,
I believe so.
It makes perfect sense why they didn't.
It wouldn't make sense to change
and
it.
invest all that money to change it.
And Fernando, to be fair with you, I'm not putting a music change for someone like a John Cena in the hands of Def Rebel.
Yeah, not right now.
Nah, keep the old song. Don't let Def Rebel make a new song. Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah, but I feel like overall, I don't know, bro. I feel like the peak was that heel turn, that elimination chamber moment. And I remember I sat here and we was like, why was Travis Scott there? Then I told y'all, yo, we're gonna look back at it and be like, yo, Travis Scott being there actually made it an even better moment. And that's what I'm thinking right now. I think the buzz they created from that one moment sold the match, but they just had to keep, exceeding on top of that. And I think there's nothing more they can do. Probably Rock coming out and going back and forth with Cody, but he's not fighting. So, like, I don't know. I feel like wasted potential on a lot of these matches. Even though they might deliver in the ring, overall, the build has been completely trash. And creative needs to take notes and really start thinking ahead to next year's Mania.
Well, I'm pretty sure they already are. But I agree. Clips, any thoughts on the Cena and Cody feud thus far? And then we're gonna talk a little bit about
Nah.
Okay, well, do you have anything to say regarding the Logan Paul AJ Styles announcement for WrestleMania? That's the next thing we're gonna touch based on. I'll let you give your thoughts on that first.
I just feel like that was a throw together match, to be honest. I really don't care for that pairing at all. I mean, I want AJ in WrestleMania, but I don't really care for the Maverick.
I'm not gonna lie, I think that might be, depending on where it's booked on the show, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, that'd be one of the best matches of the night as far as spots go. Because Logan's a spot junkie. And AJ is good to do a good spot. It's due to do a good spot. So I think they're gonna have some good spots in that match. I think the match will be entertaining. But yeah, it's definitely just a put together match. But it's a good dream match in the hindsight, depending on how Logan's career goes. But man, I would have loved to see this match if this was even 5 years ago. AJ Styles, we had just a little bit more athleticism. But yeah, that's all I really got for that match per se. Ty, any thoughts on this match?
Honestly, if you see Jey Uso win the belt and you see Logan Paul win his match,
oh, here we go. I was waiting for this.
I'm just saying
he's gonna get the belt at some point too.
He's gonna get the belt sooner than we expect. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not gonna be surprised at it. Am I gonna like it? No. But
but I do.
I'll be okay with it.
I do think their match is gonna be good.
Yes, I agree. Real quick, we're gonna give our predictions for the AEW Dynasty match predictions tonight, and then I found the Bleacher Report ranking the 25 greatest WrestleMania matches. I'm gonna show that as a sneak peek because next episode we're gonna rank our own WrestleMania all-time matches. We're gonna have our own list to come up with and kind of debunk which one we think is the greatest. So, real quick, I'm gonna share my screen and show the AEW match card for tonight's AEW Dynasty. And we're gonna start from the top and work our way down. So, main event, we have Swerve Strickland versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. I'll start with Clips first, man. Who you got winning this match? And we'll work from bottom up. So Clips, then Ty, then myself.
Swerve.
I might swerve in that corner. Whoa.
Yep. They need to do it. If Jon Moxley wins tonight, I'll cry.
Well, I hope you got tissues near you because I want Swerve to win, but I think they're gonna have Moxley keep the belt. I think Moxley's keeping the belt, unfortunately. Next we have the international. Oh no, is it international or intercontinental? International. I was right. Okay, AW International Championship. Speedball Mike Bailey, Kenny Omega, and Ricochet I think this is going to be a really, really good match. It's going to be some great spots in this match. But Clips, who you got winning? Ty, I'll let you go ahead, and we come back to Clips.
I got Kenny Omega.
Kenny winning. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say Ricochet gets the belt.
Honestly,
I think with all the work he's been putting in, they might throw a curveball and give him the belt for like a month or two, and have him and Kenny do a little feud, maybe. Unless they have other plans for Kenny and someone intervenes in this match because it's a 3-way match, so there's no DQ. And they have Ricochet win and kind of have him feud with Speedball Mike Bailey. Real quick, Fernando has a comment. Hangman's going to help Swerve win the AEW Championship and kill the Death Rider story once and for all. Fernando, if that comes to light, I hope AEW gives you a royalty check. And I'll be proud to say you was right. And then he followed that comment up with Speedball is going to shock the world and win this. I don't see that.
Too early.
Yeah, he just got there. His name is not going to hold enough weight like some of the other stars that go in AW early and win the belt so fast. But I wouldn't be opposed to him holding the belt. I think he's heavily underrated for what he brings to the ring and in-ring ability.
Yeah,
promos leaves a lot to be desired, but
yeah, if this goes to let's say, like you said, Ricochet wins, then it becomes a Ricochet versus Speedball feud for the title. Maybe, but right now, I think they still want to have Kenny hold the belt because I do think they're just gonna combine the international and the continental titles because it makes no sense to have them both separate. And while doing that, you get Kenny Omega versus Okada, which is something they're definitely gonna want to do. So,
absolutely, Clips. If you're there, who you got winning? Omega, Ricochet, or Speedball Bailey?
Kenny.
Next match, we have Megan Bayne versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. Who you guys got? I think Storm retains here.
I got Toni.
Yeah, she has to retain, but they have been building up Megan pretty good.
The last couple of months. I just can't wait to finally see Mercedes finally in that AEW Women's Championship picture. But it seems like the belt she has been more important than that title up until they just concluded the feud with Toni. And I can't remember her name now.
Mariah May,
which I heard her contract's coming up soon. All right, next on the list, as we scroll down, we have Chris Jericho versus Bandito in an AEW World Championship match, a Ring of Honor World Championship match, title versus mask. For love of God, I hope Chris loses because the mask is sacred, and I assume he is not taking that mask off. So I'm gonna go Bandito.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think like Mike said weeks ago, Chris Jericho might hold this belt for 900 days.
Fernando, I don't disagree with that. That'll be a beautiful match, and I think it's your main event if you have Mercedes versus Timeless Tony at All In. And he also has Bandito winning the match. Clips, who you got?
But I really don't know. I didn't care for this feud, but I'm gonna just go Jericho because,
yeah, no one cares for this feud. You're not alone.
You're not at all. But I'm gonna start with you with the TNT Championship match. You got Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole, baby.
They're going Daniel. I'm going Daniel.
I'm going Adam Cole.
Yep. This is going to be Adam Cole's first title in AEW.
And it's been long overdue.
And he debuted it like 100 years ago. So.
Still one of the best debuts overall from a show where you had him and then Brian come out. Like Danielson, I'm sorry. But yeah. I think he finally gets that belt and gets through the glass ceiling, so to speak. Next, we're going to start from the right side. We got rated FTR versus the Death Riders. AEW Trios Championship.
I got Death Riders.
Yeah, FTR is turning on Cope.
You think so?
Death Riders is winning. Yep.
Fair enough.
Because they tease like a breakup between them, but I don't think AEW can pretty much survive with breaking up FTR because they really don't have that much tag teams.
They don't.
So
okay. I was leaning rated FTR, so I'm gonna go with them. But like you said, they have been teasing it, so I wouldn't be surprised if they finally just cut the ties with Cope and Death Riders return here. Next, we have the Hurt Syndicate versus Big Bill and Brian Keith. I got the Hurt Syndicate winning this match. Cope versus Christian at All In.
Nah, it's going to be Cope and Christian versus FTR at All In.
Be a lot of blood in that match, too. So, yes, I have Hurt Syndicate beating Big Bill and Brian Keith.
Yep.
You guys got
Hurt Syndicate.
You guys agree?
Yeah, I think MJF helps them win, even though they don't need help to win. But I think he goes out there and helps them.
Fernando says MJF is going to cost the Hurt Syndicate and bring in his own crew, which would be probably Big Bill and Brian Keith, possibly. I wouldn't like that pairing, but it's AEW.
Nah, he's talking about his MLW. Which was called the Dynasty. But I think the problem with that is I don't want to see Big Bill and Brian Keith hold the belts. Yo, I love Brian Keith. got the best entrance, but I don't want to see them lose the belt for that. It would make more sense for MJF.
Now that I can get behind.
That I think it makes more sense that MJF helping them and they keep turning them down. Then you come have Josh and Hammerstone be the tag team to come take this belt off of the Hurt Syndicate. That's better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can get behind a Josh Alexander, Hammerstone, MJF pairing. More so Josh Alexander, because I think Hammerstone's really good too, but I just love Josh Alexander's work. Fernando, we appreciate you with all the comments, man. You definitely got to get on the show, man. Definitely got to get on the show. I'd like to hear you give your input in person. Well, virtually in person. Next, we have Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. Owen Hart's men's tournament quarterfinal match. And if I'm being honest, Kyle Fletcher needs to win this match.
Yeah, he's gonna win. He's gonna.
Lastly, we have Mercedes not lastly, but second to last, we have Mercedes Moné versus Julia Hart in the quarterfinal of the Owen Hart women's tournament.
Give it to Julia.
I think Mercedes wins. But if Julia does win, I could see Athena costing her the match.
Bro, give it to Julia, bro. I'm not about to be in the business of just giving everything to this girl Mercedes, bro. No.
See,
but she won't win the Owen. You got to think about it. If she wins this match,
I was gonna ask who's on the other side of the bracket.
She's probably gonna face Athena next round.
Oh, so yeah. Because I just said if Julia wins, it's because Athena costs Mercedes. But if Athena's on the other side of the bracket, because I don't remember.
Nah, they're on the same side, which is.
I feel like Julia needs it better. Needs it more.
I'm not opposed to that either. But if they're on the same side of the bracket, I think they're gonna go Athena and Mercedes because it's gonna put more seats in the fill more seats. So,
Yeah, but do you have them face each other with no titles involved?
I wouldn't do that either.
That's what
I
I'm
wouldn't
saying.
be
So
opposed to it, but me personally, I wouldn't do it because you could set that up for like an all-in and build it up properly. So yeah, if Julia does win, I think it's with interference. I love that. Or Harley makes a mistake and costs Mercedes the match. I mean, when's the last time Mercedes got pinned? To be honest,
Exactly.
it's been a while. So if it's been that long,
probably Vince McMahon.
okay. If it's been that long since she took a pinfall, I'll be honest. If she's going to take a pinfall, it can't be to no Julia Hart.
Yeah. So this is the bracket: Julia versus Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Harley versus Athena, same side. All right. Other side has Jamie Hayter versus Billy Starks and Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander.
So you're gonna have Rosa versus Hayter. Then you're gonna have Monet versus Athena. I think that's where they're gonna. I think that's the route they're gonna go.
The same people winning.
But nonetheless, we have Will Ospreay to end it off versus Kevin Knight. And obviously Ospreay's winning this match. But I'm kind of the same accord with clips with the Hart situation. I would love to see Kevin Knight get the win, but he's not winning this match.
Well, this match actually wasn't supposed to be Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight. It was supposed to be Will Ospreay versus Jay White. But Jay White is hurt. So they went from
anger too.
Yeah, that would have been a crazy.
And it sucks because Jay White would have lost. And I'm just like, I'm tired of seeing him lose big matches. I want him to win. But so this is the card, man. The show starts at, I think it already started.
10 minutes.
In 10 minutes, yep.
The 0 hour already started, but who cares about that?
Yeah, man, that is the card right there. And before we get out of here, we're going to just look at the rankings that Bleach Report showed for the top 25 greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. And next episode, we're going to do a top 10 list. So some of these matches will not make the cut. All the matches that's not on this list entirely might make the cut. So stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's get right through this. And we're going to end off the show with this. All right. So here we are, the top 25. At 25, we have John Cena versus The Rock, WrestleMania 28. Any surprises with this being so low?
I gotta see what's before it.
At 24, we have The Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18. I'm not mad at this.
Yeah,
this
that's a
better
better
main event.
That's a better match.
I think it's better build up and everything too.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah, I'll give this the better build up slightly.
Hollywood Hogan was probably the best thing Hogan ever did.
At 23, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20.
And this is pretty low in my opinion.
You think this is better than the Cena and Rock match?
Oh,
the match and the build up. Because I think that's what they're taking all into account.
Yeah.
I assume. Yeah. Fair enough. I do
not at all. Eddie Guerrero taking off the shoe. Loosen up the shoelace. Getting out of the ankle lock. Come on, bro.
I will say this.
That's top tier.
Since they talk about greatest WrestleMania matches, if a particular match is not on this list, this list is not official to me.
I know exactly what match you're talking about, and it's not going to be on this list. I promise you that.
I think it will be. It's the greatest match for the stipulation that they had. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. At 22, we have Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match. I think this is a little low, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is pretty low.
I'm gonna see what's in front, but I think it's low. At 21, we have John Cena. Now, this is low. John Cena versus Shawn Michaels at 23. Now,
this is like top 10. 50.
I argue this match was better than Batista and Taker as a pure match.
Oh, by far.
Like, this is one of Cena's best matches around this era, in my opinion. So, I don't know. 21. Again, we gotta see what's in front of it, but that's a little low, to be honest. 20 WrestleMania Daniel Bryan, but okay. See, my thing with this was a good match.
The buildup was better.
I think it's the buildup that's carrying this more than the match itself. Well, because the buildup, the yes movement, what he had to overcome with the authority, chef's kiss. But I just think the match itself is not better than some matches that we've seen above. At 19, Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 19. See, I don't even think this match is better than Cena and Shawn Michaels, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's better.
This is this is memorable, but it's not. I don't think it's better.
At 18, okay, this was a good match and build up.
Yeah, this was
CM Punk and Undertaker WrestleMania 29. This was really, really good. Do I believe it's a top 20 Mania?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no for now, but I have to do some digging. Like off the top of my head, I would say no.
Yeah, because I can't name you 20 right now. But
off the top of my head, yeah, not right now at least. But
I feel like
I'm not mad at it being where it's at.
Well, you got to think about it. Undertaker's streak, you got to at least have 2-3 Undertaker matches.
Hell, Undertaker should have at least 5-6 matches on this thing. If I'm
arguably.
If I'm thinking, yeah, because both his matches with Shawn, both his matches with Shawn will be on the list for me.
I like the one with Punk. They just
CM Punk was on there. The end of an era will be on there.
His one with Edge was good.
Edge is, yeah, that's when I was trying to think. At 24, that's 5 right there. And I honestly think you could argue him and Batista's Mania match at 23 can be on the card. So that's 6 right there in of itself. I think can make the list. But if one had to get ousted, it will probably be him and Batista's match. All right, let's move right along. At 17, we have. Wow, it made the list. This was not the match I was thinking about. It made the list and it's in the top 20. I'm surprised. The match was really, really good. The build-up was phenomenal. Kofi Mania versus Daniel Bryan. I'm not mad at this at all. I'm not mad at this at all.
But is it better than Punk Taker?
I think
Cena
it is.
HBK?
I don't know about that one. I don't know. Let me take that back. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch some.
I could agree with the Punk Taker because the Punk Taker buildup was pretty much last minute because he just lost the belt.
Yeah.
I think after the Rumble anyways, so they only had like 2 months to build that up.
And did a damn good job too. All right, let's see. What's at 16? WrestleMania 19, Shawn and Jericho. I'm glad to see Jericho on this list because he deserves to be on the list for one of his matches, and it will be this one. WrestleMania 18, not so much. This was a damn good match. I love the build-up and everything. Top 20, I think it's a top 20 match for sure. I think it's not a bad spot for it. We're in the 15. The Money in the Bank ladder match has made the list. I'm not mad at them having this on the list. Is it top 15? I don't know. I don't think it is. But the inaugural match.
I mean, man, used to have people today, and I'm one of them, that says you gotta put Money in the Bank back at WrestleMania.
I 1,000
because I think it hit
agree.
Different.
Just having that mania, it does, and it gives those stars that you don't see as often. We want to see get the push, that big moment, and it catapults them. You see what it did with Edge, RVD,
Punk won it twice.
Jack Swagger. You know, yes, I said Jack Swagger. I know. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But yes, I agree. And I think having it at Mania, you can finally give a Carmelo Hayes or Dominic Mysterio that big moment. Nothing is better than Fernando. Nothing is better than the first HBK Undertaker match. I disagree. Their 26 match was better than their 25 match, in my opinion. That's one right there. And yes, this match is very underrated. I agree. Moving right along, though. At 14, we have Mick Foley. Now, this should be closer to the top 10. Mick Foley versus Edge at WrestleMania 22. That was a phenomenal match in the build-up. And then that spear, fire table spot was one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history. So I'm not mad at it being at 14. At 13, we have the Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Ring. I appreciate this getting some love. Some 90s Mania matches. Because this match was a really good match. Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior put on a banger. And I love this match for the simple fact that Macho Man kind of took Ultimate Warrior out his typical wrestling match style. Where he's... Because he's more of a stiff worker, and he wasn't. Macho Man kind of got him out of that, and it was a really, really good match. So I'm glad to see this make the list. Fernando also, this match should be higher. I assume he saw about the one previous to this. We'll see. At 12, we have The Rock. See, no, you messed me up. See, I already knew this was going. No. There's no way in hell The Rock and Stone Cold's WrestleMania 17 match is not top 10. The video.
Well, I'm telling you, you're gonna see. We're gonna see a lot of Taker in the top 10. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna see a lot of Taker.
The video package alone is top 3. My Way or the Highway. Like, yo, I rewatched that so much times. Like,
bro, the ending alone.
Like, I watched that video package. I'm like, why can't they do this with their big stars today? Like, that was peak for me because your biggest stars was on the show weekly and putting on bangers, building up the match. Like, I just don't see at 12. There's not 10 matches better than this. I'm sorry, I just can't get with that. I can't. The Rock and Stone Cold is my second Mania match all time. I'm not mad at that. Now, one match I will reveal that should be on this list that I haven't seen yet, and it should be in the top 10 since they put the Money in the Bank match. TLC, WrestleMania 17. Better be on it.
That's going to be on it.
So let's look at it. What's at 11? Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24. I'm not mad at this spot. Beautiful match.
Yeah, it's not top 10.
I'm sorry.
In ring, but the psychology and the build up makes it top 15 in my opinion.
Like the tears in his eyes before he put the old dog down. I'm sorry. I love you. And then the sweet chin music, like, yeah, man. It's pure cinema in this match. I'm not mad at this spot right here. You could make the argument for it to be top 10. But let's look at number 10. The first Taker Shawn match, WrestleMania 26. I don't know. It's not. It's top 10, but it's not 10. I'm sorry. That match was better than 25. If I'm being honest, especially with the stakes, the streak in the career. So wait, we better get End of the Era in the top 5 then. That's arguably one of the best Hell in a Cell matches ever, and they did no blood in that match, which is the beauty of it. All right, look at number 9. End of an Era. Taker and Triple H. This was a damn good match. I wouldn't have been mad if Taker retired after this match. I wouldn't have been mad at it. It would have been the perfect way to retire. But Vince being Vince and Taker being Taker, he had that itch. At number 8.
I'm surprised those were 9 and 10.
I am too, which gives me hope for the match I'm thinking about. Better be on this list. At number 8, oh no, almost got up my chair. This match is too low. Shawn and Kurt had one of the best Mania matches ever. Yeah, Fernando, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Taker was actually gonna lose in that match in the Hell in a Cell, especially that Sweet Chin Music pedigree combo. Nah, but Shawn and Kurt should not be at 8. It should be at least a top 5 Mania match for sure. The build up, I make your ankle hurt. Like Kurt doing all the silly stuff. Like, yeah, man, this is a top 5 Mania match for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What's at number 7? There we go.
Yep. We already know.
T.O., we ain't gotta say too much. That's a good spot for it. You can't have a WrestleMania match ranking and not have TLC on this. I was a kid trying to think about how can I recreate this in the house. I didn't care if I was taking the spear or giving the spear. But I love this match.
Crazy, because the last 3 we just talked about, you could make an argument they need to be in the top 5. So the fact that they're not on the top 5 on this list, I'm kind of scared.
I swear to God, if I see Roman in the top 3.
Yep, we getting that Roman Cody.
And you know how I feel. I'm
40.
I think 39 was better than 40, but I might be alone on that hill, and I'm okay with that. But Fernando says perfectly rated. I agree 1,000%. Number 6 goes to. Oh, it took them long enough. Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 10 ladder match. I'm not mad at this. Again, we're going to have our list next week, so you're going to see our list. I'm going to have to think real hard where I want to put certain matches. I might go back and rewatch some of these matches just to make sure I'm not being too objective. Biased. At number 5, we're in the top 5 territory. Let's see. Bret Hart, yes. People don't talk about this enough anymore.
Yeah,
brother.
brother.
This match was phenomenal at WrestleMania 10. I think it's a good spot for the top 5.
Well, if this is 5, then I think the one you were talking about probably not gonna show up, bro.
I got faith. At number 4, there we go. Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man at WrestleMania 3. This was the best match of the night, period.
Yeah, Mania 3, definitely.
If it wasn't for Andre the Giant getting body slammed, which Hogan done thousands of times prior,
exactly,
because it was territorial back then, this was the best match of it and main evented. Fernando says Austin and Bret Hart better be top 3. Yes, WrestleMania 13, which they're finally, this WWE is now introducing matches for Hall of Fame. Inducting. I'm sorry. Well, it's been a long day.
Oh, so that's probably number 1.
So that match is being inducted into this year's Hall of Fame, and that was a great match. So at number 3, we have. Let's go!
Let's
go! Yeah.
I didn't think they was. But yes, top 5.
Let's not be biased because of one person's tragic mistake. We know that is the best triple threat match ever at Mania. And they have a couple of them. Gunther's, Drew, Sheamus. This match it's hard to tell a 3-way dance match because of the psychology with one man always being out the picture, but man, did it tell a great story here. And the ending was obviously emotional for other reasons. With Eddie coming into the ring, the kids and the families coming into the ring. So I remember last time I watched this match, I ain't gonna lie, I got emotional watching it because I was happy and angry at the same time watching the damn match, the ending of the match. Because of what transpired, obviously. But yes, I'm excited that this match got its rightful respect. Is it top 3 though? I'm gonna save that for next week's episode.
It's top 5. It's top 5, definitely.
Yes, Macho Man and Steamboat is the original show stealer. I agree with that. And at number 2, no Roman and Cody. So we haven't got a Cody Roman match yet. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. Fernando's gonna be happy about this. I will say this.
I do
We
like
have one spot left, and we haven't had neither WrestleMania 40 or 39, Cody Roman.
which is good.
We haven't had WrestleMania 13, which is the one that Fernando just mentioned, which is Brett and Steve. And we didn't even get WrestleMania 19, Austin and The Rock, which was a damn good match. I don't think it's gonna be number 1, obviously, but
Yeah, I think Brett Austin is number 1. Has to be.
wow, so they're not holding the recency bias. One of these Roman matches will not be on the card, maybe both. But let's not hold you guys up. Let's get to the number 1 match Bleacher Report has as the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. And that match is WrestleMania 13. Fernando called it, Brett and Steve Austin. So, Fernando, your top 2 prayers have been answered. You got Brett and Austin, Michaels and Taker. You said no match beats that, but at least you got your other favorite match above it. So I'm sure you won't complain about this. This match had everything from the psychology, the build-up, the ending with him passing out with the bloody face. Like everything in this match was very, very spot on. And this is how you tell a technical match also. We know Bret Hart is obviously not known for his promos. Never was, never will be. When it comes to getting in that ring, he could tell a damn good story. So I'm happy to see this match at number 1. What I put at number 1, got to find out next week. Stay tuned, man. Historical double turn. Yes. My biggest takeaway, though, and I'm going to stop sharing screen from now, is there's no Cody and Roman. So there's no recency bias on this list. So I'm okay with that. Although I do think one of the matches should be on the list. But again, we're gonna have our list next week, so stay tuned for that. Fernando, if you're watching, if you want to have a list ready, a top 10 WrestleMania match all-time list, by all means, you could definitely join the show and share your list as well. That's gonna conclude this week's episode. For everyone watching, thank you again. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, hit that noti bell, and let us know your thoughts on what you think is the best and greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Hope you guys stay safe. Have a great rest of your night. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.